20 years that have cost so much, in time, in money, in lives. And this week, veterans' families asking, what was it all for? Afghanistan back in the hands of the Taliban. A decades-long mission ended in chaos and crisis. Parliament were called to ask what went wrong and how might the UK try to put some of it right. The Prime Minister's view? Mission, at least partly, accomplished.
The United Kingdom, amongst others, joined America in going into Afghanistan on a mission to extirpate al-Qaeda in that country and to do whatever we could to stabilise Afghanistan in spite of all the difficulties and challenges we knew that we would face. And we succeeded in that core mission.
But in this chamber, packed for the first time in 17 months, the PM cut a lonely figure. Detached from the mood of his party, just look at the Defence Secretary. MPs here see failure.
We are actually ceding back the country to the very insurgency that we went in to defeat in the first place. And the reputation of the West to support democracies across the world has suffered. Will he now agree to an independent, formal inquiry into the conduct in Afghanistan?
Mr. Speaker, as I said in the House just a few weeks ago, there was an extensive defence review about the Afghan mission after the combat mission ended in 2014, and I believe that most of the key questions have already been extensively gone into.
Disbelief on his own backbenches.
There's clearly been a catastrophic failure of our intelligence or our assessment of the intelligence because of the speed that this has caught us unawares.
I think it would be fair to say that the events in Afghanistan have unfolded and the collapse has been faster than I think even the Taliban themselves predicted. What is not true is to say that the UK government was unprepared or did not foresee this.
A surprise to MPs, at least. If this was foreseen, how could it have been allowed to come to pass?
When it came for us to look at the options that this country might have in view of the American decision to withdraw, Mr. Speaker, we came up against this hard reality. The West could not continue this US-led mission without American logistics, without US air power, and without American might.
But his predecessor damning of his leadership, or lack of it, over Afghanistan.
Was our intelligence really so poor? Was our understanding of the Afghan government so weak? Was our knowledge of the position on the ground so inadequate? Or did we really believe this? Or did we just feel that we had to follow the United States and hope that on a wing and a prayer it would be all right on the night? What does it say about us as a country? What does it say about NATO? We boast about global Britain, but where is global Britain on the streets of Kabul?
A mission ending in failure, and this former PM clear who's to blame.
All who served in Afghanistan should hold their heads high and be proud of what they achieved in that country over 20 years. The politicians sent them there. The politicians decided to withdraw. The politicians must be responsible for the consequences.
The opposition agree. Labour say this outcome could have been avoided.
There's been a major miscalculation of the resilience of the Afghan forces and staggering complacency from our government about the Taliban threat. The result is that the Taliban are now back in control of Afghanistan, and we face new threats to our security and an appalling humanitarian crisis.
The most moving words on Afghanistan came from a man who served there.
Like many veterans, this last week has been one that has seen me struggle through anger and grief and rage, because what we've done in these last few days is we've demonstrated that it's not armies that win wars. Armies can get tactical victories and operational victories that can hold a line. It's nations that make war. Nations endure. And here we've demonstrated, sadly, that we, the West, the United Kingdom, does not. This doesn't need to be defeat, but at the moment, damn well feels like it.
David.
A ripple of applause revealing the deep upset shared across this House. MPs united in their sorrow, their anger, their frustration about what's unfolded in Afghanistan. The UK government says it will take 20,000 Afghan refugees over the coming years, but millions more are living now in fear under Taliban rule. MPs believe we could have done better. But the Prime Minister adamant that he was unwilling, unable to act without American leadership. But responsibility for this foreign policy failure lies with him too. This then a watershed moment for Boris Johnson's premiership and for global Britain that will reverberate for years to come. The PM said we have to face the hard reality, but that's now being felt not here, but in Afghanistan. And while we have quit this war, what happens next will have consequences far beyond Kabul.